Hi everyone, and welcome to Local Notes. This is a video and podcast series dedicated to local musicians and their craft. I'm Dave Wright, and the only thing I can play is the radio. But I do enjoy listening to great music, and with a few of my friends, I spend a lot of time traveling around to hear some of our best local music. This series has two real objectives. One is to give some of the great talent an opportunity to tell their side of the story. I'm talking about the kind of stuff we don't normally get to hear about. Secondly, I'm trying to bring some attention to an area that's really hurting right now. Where would we be without all these super talented people that keep us entertained? So let's not waste any more time and get to it. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3. This week we have Chip Dominick from Chip and the Chargeups, and he is out with a brand new video called Under the Exit Sign, and it's saying good riddance to 220. So we could all vouch for that. Speaking of good riddance 220, I just want to take a minute and say that it's so important that all of us that can go and support our local musicians and our local talent. The venues are gone. Everything is shut down right now. And, these guys have no way to make a living. And it's really important that we support them. Right now, Facebook Live and those type of places are their venues. And, I've really enjoyed having it on in the background, just about everything I do. And I try to throw a few bucks out there when I can. So, that's we all need to do that. We all got to work together. I hope everybody's staying safe. Lastly, you can always get hold of me in all the normal ways. Facebook, YouTube, searching Local Notes, Dave Wright pretty much brings me up everywhere. Also, if you go to my podcast and you give me a 5-star review and you write something, I will read it on the next episode. So let's get ready for this week's interview. And again, we're talking to Chip Dominick of Chip and the Chargeups. What a great guy. I'm so glad that we had him here. And thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.
Back to the 412, I got all my presents bought. Mom got all the pierogies made, put a chair in my parking spot. It doesn't matter if that skyline's or with rain or snow, as long as I can cross the bridge and get to the place that I call home. Nothing like a black and gold Christmas. Nothing like a black and gold Christmas. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, here we are, episode number 3, and we have a very special guest tonight. I gotta kind of throw out a few things before I introduce him completely. Tonight is full of firsts for me. One, this is a genre that's completely different than anything I've done, and I've never actually seen him perform. I mean, I've seen him on Facebook, but I've never been out and seen his show, and I'm super excited. As soon as we get on the other side of COVID, I want to introduce Chip Dominick from Chip and the Chargeups.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you very much for coming, Chip. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Dave.
Very good, very good. So if you see me looking down, I do have a little cheat sheet. I don't want to have any dead air. So I'm trying to keep it going. So probably the last 3 days, I've been on iTunes and I listened to all 3 of your albums all the way through. Completely enjoyed it. I love the Pittsburgh vibe. Had a lot of fun with it. Congratulations. They're great.
Thank you.
Was just wondering, I guess I kind of am wondering, do you How have you been staying busy during COVID? What have you been doing?
Well, we've been doing a lot of different things to try to kind of fill the gap. We have performed a few shows. I think after post the original lockdown, we did manage to squeeze in 4 shows this year after February. So that's usually a pretty bad year, but given the circumstances, we have stayed sharp as a band for those opportunities. A few last minute things came up. We've obviously had a lot of cancellations, but a few last minute things came up. So we stayed sharp as a band, and we have squeezed in some performances. We're constantly writing new songs, and as well as adding some new covers into our live show. So that's another thing that's kept us busy. And then like the third, I'm going to say there's 4 things. They're kind of related, but they're both related to technology, but really they're 2 separate things. We have been experimenting with live streaming and looking into ways to really improve the quality of live stream performances. So it's not just, an iPhone microphone picking up the band room, but something more professional. So that's another thing that we've worked on. And then the second half of the technology is that I've been working on my recording skills, so that we can record in my home studio, as opposed to paying to record in a public studio. And obviously that's been important this year because, with so few gigs, it's hard to build up a recording budget.
Right.
So if we are able to, bridge that gap by recording at home and building up the skills so that listeners can't tell the quality difference, I think we'll be in a very good place and continue putting out the albums at the pace we've been putting albums out at.
Cool. Very cool. Very nice. Do you do a lot of writing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Above all else, I think I consider myself a songwriter. Yes, I sing in the band. Yes, I play guitar in the band. But I really identify as a songwriter. That's kind of what I feel breathes life into what we do. Just having the music out there, having song after song after song for people to listen to, and always have a pipeline of new music ready to come out to the fans.
Right. Now, when you're writing, do you have to be in a certain mood, a certain situation? Do you have to have the blinds down and green lights on, or does it just come to you all the time?
It's very inconsistent, and sometimes I go through long spells where I can't write, where it's just like, it feels like, I feel like asking myself, have I written the last song that I'm ever going to write? Because sometimes the inspiration doesn't strike. And then other times, I feel like I can put together a masterpiece out of nowhere. So for me, it is a very inconsistent process. And, one I'd like to be able to improve on and be able to say, what, I'm going to write a song today and then do it. My daughter, Melina, who is the bass player for our band, she's also a solo artist. And she, in preparation for her debut album, she spent about 2 years setting aside every Monday to write a song. And she would write a song every Monday. Mm-hmm. Some of them were great. Some of them were, not good enough to make her album, but she was able to, kind of have a factory mentality. Like, I'm going to clock in and I'm going to write a song. And that's something that I have not yet been able to do, but I would love to be able to do that, to know that there's a specific point in time where a song is going to come out of me come hell or high water.
Did she let you have any guest spots on her solo album?
She did. I did play guitar on a number of songs. I think I played bass on one song, and I played percussion on one song. So
right.
I did.
So I have 3 daughters. You got to be proud.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's definitely my pride and joy, and just seeing her bud into a prolific musician is one of the great joys of life for sure.
Wow. Tell me some more about the band. Introduce everybody else in the band and how did you get together and that kind of thing.
Sure. Well, so Melina, believe it or not, was not the first other member of the band besides me.
Okay.
I put together, I just put an announcement out there on social media that I was looking for folks. And, the first person I really connected with was Jeff DePerna, the drummer. And he and I had played some of the same shows before. In fact, we played a battle of the bands in different bands against one another, and his band beat my band back then. And I think that may have been how I met Jeff. So we were kind of like on competing terms or enemy terms to start off with. But
Right.
we hit it off, and Jeff's just a great guy. And when he stepped forward and expressed interest in the drumming position, he came out. We jammed, we connected, we had chemistry, and he was the first member to join. And then we got a guitar player, and with the three of us, we started auditioning bass players. And it was honestly a very frustrating process trying to find bass players. Bass players would either show up unprepared and be unimpressive, or they would not show up at all, and they'd be like, "What? Oh, today's Tuesday. I didn't know today was Tuesday. Oh, I totally forgot. Sorry, I couldn't make it." And it was just very frustrating. So when would it either have a bass player not show up or a bass player show up and be unprepared, they'd leave and would say, "Melina, you play bass. Why don't you sit in with us?" And so she'd sit in with us, and she'd, first time or two, she'd know a few songs. And then the process kept repeating with the bass players that we were auditioning. And each time would invite Melina, and she'd know more songs, and she really worked out. Now, being her dad, my main role in her life is being her dad.
Right.
So, it never really struck me to have her in the band because that's a different role. I'm her dad, not her bandmate.
Right.
But, she just really stepped up to the challenge and played really well. And she did a show with us, and it just felt so perfect that it was like, you know what? You're in the band.
Right. Right.
So then we had our four members. Eventually, the guitar player left, and I was able to connect with a guitar player who I'd been in a previous band with. His name is DJ Carruthers. When I started the band, he was in another project, but he had been freed up. And then May of 2018, 19, 2019, I believe. He joined the band, and then we've had the same lineup since then. And great players, great people, and it's been a blast.
Awesome. I've heard other musicians talking about what you were talking about earlier about like coming not prepared. And one musician friend told me rehearsal is not practice. You should be practicing at home, coming to rehearsal so we can all get better.
Absolutely. Yeah. When three people learn a song and one person doesn't, and you spend a rehearsal having that person listen to the song and learn their parts, it's not only counterproductive, but it's also demoralizing for the other members who, feel like they did what they had to do. And,
right.
Now they got to kind of pull someone else along. So I agree with that.
Yep, absolutely. So, okay. So we've heard a lot about the Chargeups. How about you? What was your first band? Was it high school? Is that where you got going?
Yeah, I actually probably grade school.
Oh, wow.
I in 8th grade, a friend and I put together a band. It was really just me as a guitar player and her as a singer.
Uh-huh.
And we played the 8th grade talent show really loudly and really badly. But that was the first time I performed, and just been going ever since.
Does your wife ever come out and say, okay, Chip and daughter, no more guitars on the table. Like we're taking a break. You know, some people put away their phones. You guys have to put away your music for a couple days.
No, never. I mean, we're a very creative family.
Right.
My wife is a photographer and as well as a greeting card designer, and she does videography as well. So we are all about creativity. She's done a lot of our probably most of our or all of our photography, most of our live photography, and some of our videography. So we're just, we're a creative family. We believe in supporting one another and encouraging each other to just be the most creative and productive people we can be.
Well, that is absolutely the first thing I noticed about you guys was the positive vibe and the positive feel from you and your music. And I think that's wonderful. I really do. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's see. Mashups. I was listening to your song. I know you do a lot of mashups. What was your inspiration there? What happened? How did that take off for you?
It's really hard to say. In my previous band, Chip Dominick, we did several mashups as well. And I think the first one we did was a mashup of Billy Joel's It's Still Rock and Roll to Me and Marilyn Manson's The Beautiful People. So we called it It's Still Rock and Roll to the Beautiful People. And man, I don't know where it came from. I just kind of, I try to explain it this way, and I'm not sure if anyone gets this or not, but I am just a big music fan first and foremost, and always have been. Music's just at my core. So in my head, 24/7 are song after song spinning in my head. And I don't know what's going to come next in this jukebox in my head. It's like, a brain on shuffle. Mm-hmm. And sometimes two songs just play after one another, and then a light bulb goes off, and it was like, whoa, there's some similarities. Maybe it's a similar beat in this song versus that song, or similar chord structure in this song versus that song. And something just clicks and says, whoa, that might work out as a good mashup. So I'll grab my guitar and I'll try it out. And, usually if I get to that point, it's going to work.
Right.
I never really get myself to that point if my intuition doesn't tell me that it's gonna work. But it's just by random chance that it happens, and it's not something I go searching for or that I research or try to do. It's just whatever's flying through my head in that virtual jukebox that happens to land next to each other on a lucky day. That's how mashups are born.
Is the recording of the Billy Joel mashup still out there somewhere?
Yes, it is. It's on I think we put that on CD only as a bonus track. I don't think that is on like Spotify or Apple Music or iTunes.
Right.
There is a video for it on YouTube, though. Now that I think of it, there is a video for it on YouTube that you can find. I think
check it out.
It's a live version that's not so good, but there's an official video for that. So if you're able to dig through the bowels of YouTube, you might be able to find that.
Well, I'll tell you the favorite video that I saw, and I did spend a few days looking, was the live version of The Fallen Angel that you did at Chargeups. I thought that was, I loved it.
Oh, cool.
You're probably going, oh God, that was terrible. But I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. So
that may have been a fan shot video. We don't have a whole lot of live stuff on our YouTube, but we're obviously cool anytime that someone wants to record us and put their own stuff on YouTube, their own footage on YouTube of us. That's absolutely cool. So I have a feeling that's a fan shot, which
it probably is. Yeah. So and you know what, I'm I'm good at that. When I go see a band and they're playing a song I like, I always definitely record it, throw it on my YouTube. A lot of times they appreciate it, and I've seen them use it and stuff sometimes.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
although the audio, it's like you said, it's an iPhone low light,
Mhm.
it can be spotty at best. So I had some
Yeah.
really cool. So one thing that I hear, and I'm really really excited about this. One thing that I hear from musicians, and I hear it commonly, that when the band starts, you have all these groups of friends and they start coming together, but after a couple of years, the community starts to meld together. Like friends that are separate little silos start to become friends.
Mhm.
Have you seen that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Pittsburgh music scene, and I'm not sure how this differs from other cities' music scenes, but it's one that's like always evolving. And yeah, there's that phenomenon where people who were not connected somehow get connected through bands that they know and like and go to see. And
Yeah.
that's just a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing that people can, kind of document their friendship and say, oh yeah, I met my friend such and such at a Chip and the Chargeups show, and now we go see them all the time and things like that.
Yeah.
So definitely that's a big part of the community. One thing that is sad is that I've been playing pretty consistently since 2005, um, and you do see like a lot of transient like people coming in and out of the music scene. Like you see people that are all of a sudden you never seen them before, and then they're at a show every single weekend, twice a week, and then after 6 months they either burn out or maybe they find a new person to date and they're done going to see live music and things like that. So over the years you see a lot of both types of stories. You see the loyal people and the people that form a community, the people that join a community, and you also see people that are only with you for a season, and they're important too. And obviously as a musician you want to excite those people. You want to, take the opportunity to impress the new people and make them feel at home so that they don't burn out after 6 months on the scene, that they want to be a part of it forever.
Right, right. I've heard a couple of musicians would say that after a show you can really get torn because there's the people that come see you all the time, and then there's the new fans, and they're all equally important.
Yeah.
One guy said, I just want to go hide. And he loves them, but he just doesn't know how to. The anxiety for him was tough. So I can get it. I absolutely get it. So do you handle that pretty well? Are you able to see both of them?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what I definitely try to do is, we try to set up a merch booth near the exit of a venue and go back there as soon as we're done playing so that we can, make sure we thank everyone on the way out. The fact that someone gave their night over to try you out to be entertained is just so flattering. And, I just want to thank people for that. So that's definitely something that we try to do is make eye contact, see people face to face, and let them know that we really appreciate having the opportunity to entertain them, and hopefully that we'll get a chance to entertain them again.
Right, right. Absolutely. So now a super important question. Does Chip and the Chargeups have any new stuff coming out? Any surprises? Anything exciting?
Yes, we do. Just this past week, we have released a song that is a song that bids good riddance to 2020. It's been a crazy year, and we have written the song that kind of puts the exclamation point on that. And it's called Under the Exit Sign. We just premiered a brand new video for it. And what we hope is that it's the song that everyone listens to across the world as they ring in 2021. Have it blasted about 11:55 p.m. On New Year's Eve, and blast this song because it will take you out of 2020 into hopefully what will be a much better year for everyone.
It's got to be better, Chip. It's got to be. That, and where can everybody find it? It's going to be on iTunes. Are you going to put it out on YouTube?
Yeah, all the major digital music distribution sources, as well as on YouTube and Facebook. You'll be able to see the video on YouTube or Facebook. So we hope people check it out and like I said, hopefully adopt it as their New Year's Eve 2020 song.
Fantastic, fantastic. I was also looking through some of your web pages, and I'm doing my research, and I saw the picture of you on Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Where
did that picture come from?
Well, it's a very interesting thing that my wife does. She sells stock photography. So companies like TV shows and ad agencies and magazines, whenever they need a photo, rather than hiring a photographer to take a specific photo, they will buy a photo from a library or license a photo from a library to use in a specific way. So the Jimmy Fallon show licensed one of my wife's photos. We kind of have a deal where she will take our band photos for free, but we all sign model releases, giving her the ability to sell the pictures through the agency that she deals through. So they licensed an old band photo and put us on Jimmy Fallon with replacing one of the band members' heads with Jimmy Fallon's head. So that was
very cool. And he dressed up the same way. It was neat. So, what other interests do you have besides the music? What do you do when you're not making music?
Oh, there's a few very passionate hobbies I have. I'm a distance runner. I've run probably a dozen or so half marathons. So I run a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've run a little bit less this year because I've also started some weight training to be a more balanced human. My legs were always strong, but the rest of me wasn't. So I'm trying to work on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I love running. A newer hobby I have. I've cooked for, I don't know, 20 some years, but during the lockdown where we're all spending more time at home, I've really, really got into doing like elaborate cooking. So I'm talking like the type of meals that take over 3 hours to prepare.
Oh, wow.
My thing is Monday nights. I will just start about 2:30 or so, start chopping some vegetables and try to cook a big meal. I always try to challenge myself every Monday. From the past couple of months, I've been trying to challenge myself to make something that I've never made before, and the results are usually pretty good. There are some things that are more impressive than others, but that's become a new passion of mine, cooking and having fun like that. So,
wow, that's great. I mean, I have a lot of interest in cooking too, and I obviously I enjoy eating it, and that's something that I don't know. I'm more of a griller and a smoker kind of guy, and I got the ribs and stuff going. That's something that I'm interested in, but I definitely understand the being excited about it.
Yeah, I would probably be more into the smoking thing, but I'm the only meat eater in my family. So my kids are or my son and my wife are vegetarians.
Mm-hmm.
Melina is a vegan. So if I'm cooking meat, I'm just cooking it for myself, which is fine. And sometimes I do that a lot of times.
Right.
If I'm making some type of protein thing for them,
Mm-hmm.
I'll cook myself chicken or throw something on the grill real quick. But I would love to get more into doing smoking type
Right,
stuff.
right.
Another hobby of mine, I also enjoy collecting sports cards. That's something that my son is very, I should say, up until last couple of weeks, he's been very into for a number of years, and I've collected sports cards at several points throughout my life. So I enjoy that as well.
Me too. Oh yeah. I mean, it's been a lifelong thing. I got boxes of them sitting, and every couple of years, it kind of comes around. Like it'll get real popular, and then it'll fade out, and then it'll come back. And I was more into the football and hockey than anything.
Okay.
So
yeah, for me, hockey is my main thing. I do a little bit of WWE, but hockey is my main thing.
Right. Cool. Okay. This is one that I ask everybody, and I think it's kind of a tough question, especially right now. But I always get some really interesting answers, and I'm excited about this one. So, where do you see Chip in 5 years?
Well, ideally, the world will know about Chip and the Chargeups. Especially during these lockdown times, it's really made me feel like, dude, when you have the chance, you need to tour. You need to get the act across the country, perhaps across the world. The pandemic has made you realize how there are some things that you can't take for granted, and there are some things that you need to get while the getting's good. So I would love for us to be nationally, perhaps internationally known. I'd love to play. I don't know if 50 states is maybe too ambitious, but it'd be great in 5 years to have hit all 50 states, or at least the 48 continental states. It's wild when we play a show and the connection that we have with an audience. And even, our most recent show, just last month, it was a small crowd due to the circumstances, but we had such a connection with them, and we felt their energy and they felt our energy, and we, together we created something truly magical. And I feel, I've been to so many concerts, I've seen so many bands, and it's not something that happens all the time. And I just feel like if we had the opportunity to connect with people, we would. And the thought of connecting with people in that way in California or Arizona or Washington State or New York City or Boston or where have you, if we had that opportunity, I really believe we could connect with them and build a humongous fan base. So that's what I hope to have accomplished in 5 years, is just, keep doing what we do it better, and do it on a larger scale, and get our music to reach as far as possible.
God, I wish you all the luck in the world, Chip. I know it's going to happen for you, brother. I do. Do you have a favorite venue that you like to play at that really is kind of cool?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a single favorite, but there are certainly several favorites. One of our post-lockdown shows that we did in October was at Jurgles. And I've played at Jurgles before, but it had been opening for national acts. And, opening for national acts, you have to set up your equipment in front of their equipment. Oftentimes, if they have a touring opener with them, you got to set up the headliner's equipment, then the touring opener's equipment, then the local opener's equipment. So you have such small stage space. Well, we headlined in Jurgles in October, and we had the whole stage to ourselves. And I got to tell you, it was glorious. It was awesome. The team at Jurgles treated us so well there. The sound man, AJ, did such a fantastic job making sure that we were pleased with our sound and everything. And it was just such a great experience. So that's definitely one that stands out, in our minds. I love Mr. Small's Funhouse. That has been closed since March. We're really hoping that they can come back. I know that's a lot of property that Mr. Smalls has to have dormant for so long, but we're really pulling for them to come through. Mr. Small's Funhouse is another favorite, and Hard Rock Cafe is cool. I mean, there's just so many great venues, but those are some top ones.
Awesome. I've heard a lot of people really upset about Mr. Smalls. It was very well loved.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope it comes back too. So, well, Chip, I want to thank you. I wish you all the success. I really do. It's been wonderful having you. And if there's anything I can do to help, make sure you let me know. And maybe in a couple of years or when a little time comes by, we'll get together and do it again.
Let's hope so, Dave. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure and an honor talking to you, and a pleasure reaching out to your following.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.